Welcome to the Real Estate Corner. I'm your host, Shad Bogany. I'm here every Tuesday from 6:15 to 7:15 talking about the latest things that are happening in real estate. And we're doing our show a little bit different than we've done in the past. Today we're going to be on Ionic TV, station 1510 Digital, and you will be able to catch our show on Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock or Sunday evenings at 8 o'clock. And so we're doing something a little bit different. We're filming as we're doing the radio show. My guest in the studio tonight with us is going to be Chris Compton. Chris, welcome again to the Real Estate Corner.
Thank you, Shad, for having me.
You know, tonight we're going to be talking about tax protesting, and the reason it's important is because the deadline is coming up on May 15th. And I asked Chris to come back in and talk to us a little bit about tax protesting. But before we bring Chris on and we get into the show, let me give the numbers out if you'd like to call in. 281-837-2222. I'm your host, Shad Bogany. I'm here every Tuesday from 6:15 to 7:15, and now you can catch us on Ionic TV. Before we bring Chris on, just wanted to talk about it. You know, Americans have always considered having everything big, and so I wanted to give you kind of an idea. The average home size in the United States is 2,500 square feet. In Australia, it's 2,500 square feet. In China, though, it's less than 500 square feet. In Britain, it's less than 1,000 square feet. In Spain, it's right over 1,000 square feet. In Canada, which is more expensive than it is in the United States, it's less than 2,000 square feet. So the average home size is always larger here in the United States and Australia. And a lot of that may have to deal with that they've got a lot of land, they're building a whole lot. You know, buyers always ask me, you know, Shad, I think I might be continuing to rent. Well, let me share this with you. Whether you're renting or buying, you pay for the occupier of that house, either for your landlord or yourself. So why would you continue to rent in today's market? And so these are some comments that I wanted to bring up to you tonight so you get kind of an idea of what's going on. There's also a difference in regards to pre-qualifying and pre-approving for a loan. Pre-qualifying asks the buyer's income, asks about credit, estimate what the buyer qualifies for. When you get pre-approved, update credit report, verified income, and pre-underwrite the loan. So pre-approve is always better than pre-qualifying. Pre-approve is what you want. That's when you've actually went into an underwriter to get your loan done. I also want to give the Houston Chronicle some credit. And we've got the home buying guide by the Houston Chronicle. This guide came out on April 29th. You can go to the Chronicle site, and it lists all the subdivisions in the greater Houston area, what they sell for, how much the values have gone up per square feet, how many homes have sold in the neighborhood. And so one of the things that Chris showed me a while back was that there are people out there who are actually paying more in taxes with the value than what the home is actually worth.
That's correct.
And so if you want to find out, go to the Houston Chronicle, go to chronicle.com and go in and see what your home values are worth. So we're here in the studio with Chris Compton. Chris, thank you for coming in to the Real Estate Corner and being my first guest on Ionic TV.
Thank you.
Ionic TV and being here with us. So, Chris, let's talk a little bit about tax protests. And why would somebody protest their taxes? Why?
Okay, every year the appraisal district does a reevaluation of each area. The tax dollars have to come in to pay the school district's budget, all of the teachers, and they have to raise the values. If you get a notice in the mail, they have to send them out in April, and you have a deadline to file. If you get a notice after the deadline, which is May 15th, they've changed it from May 31st to May 15th this year. A lot of people say they got the notice yet. They haven't even opened it yet because they're still thinking they had a May 31st.
Okay.
But they're going to be in for a big surprise. But if you get an increase in value, if you think you are overly valued and paying too much taxes, you should file a protest.
Why should someone hire someone to protest their taxes? You know, you got to take off from work and you got to go down there. So
correct.
you tell me why somebody should hire somebody. Maybe I can take a vacation day.
Okay, you need to hire someone to go in with the expertise to do it, because if you walk in there and don't know what you're doing, if you don't have the right information, you could go in there at one value and talk yourself into a higher value coming out. So you need to have someone with you. Like if you go to court, you will get an attorney.
Right.
So you don't walk in there by yourself or empty-handed. You need someone to go in and represent you.
You know, I will tell you, Chris, over the years you've represented me.
Yes.
I know values. I have access to the MLS. I can talk about it, but I hire an expert to come do it. Chris, what's your phone number if someone wants to call you before the 15th?
281-591-7856.
We're talking with Chris Compton. Chris is a tax protester. He does it for you. The numbers here are 281-837-2222. And guys, I would be remiss if I didn't mention our sponsors. We've got American Title and we've got Dixie Hardware. But Dixie Hardware and American Title, two of my favorite sponsors, and we could not do this show without their sponsorship. So, Chris, let's talk a little bit about this new electronic way that they've got out there called iFile. How does that work with the consumer?
Well, iFiles, they send out the notices, and you can get, on your notice, they have a number that you can go on iFile and call in, and they will call you and try to set up the arrangement to do a value with you. I suggest no one do iFile. I have a lady called me and said her home flooded. She did iFile, and they haven't even put a value on her home yet, but she settled a value, and I told her that's probably what they was going to put it on for anyway.
Well, you know, Chris, I know a lot of people are looking and listening to us right now. We're in their homes and we're on their radio.
Right.
So my question, those who have flooded,
Yes.
how should they handle this tax protest, and what is the counties doing to help them?
Well, right now, they haven't put a value on any of the homes that are flooded yet. They're still waiting to see what they're going to do. But if your home flooded, you need to have pictures. You need to have some estimates of cost of repairs. You have to have everything you need in place to go get your value reduced for this year. Now, you have to make sure if you repaired your home by January 1st, the valuation date is January 1st.
Okay.
And if you've totally redone your house by then, you could come out with a higher value than you had last year, because now you've remodeled your home. But if you haven't done anything to it, say you done it January the 4th, you have a reason to protest because your home was not in 100% livable condition January 1st.
Well, for you viewers out there and you radio listeners, let me share something with you. You've remodeled your home, you've updated and made it nice. It is not worth more than it was before because now you've got the stigma of being flooded. So that's going to be an issue. And so when I'm coming out evaluating properties, I'm taking about 20% off. I go back to when the property before it was flooded, and then I take a 20% value, and I take in consideration all those updates that you've done. But the issue is your house has now had the stigma of being flooded. And if you flood it twice, 3 times, that makes it even worse. So if they tell you that you've remodeled your home,
Yes.
and now it's worth more,
Right.
that's really not the truth.
That's right. But they get a copy of all the permits. So if you had to take out any permits to have any work done on your house, they get a copy of all the permits. Now, they will drive by. They will not come in your house, and they're just looking to see if they can see something. Most of the time they can't, so they have to assume you are finished. They will put a value on you, and if you're not looking at that notice when you get it in April or May, you could be in trouble.
And guys, you started getting these love letters from the county in April.
Yes.
So these love letters were coming out, that little square card that you didn't pay any attention to, and you threw it on the kitchen counter and said, I'll get to it when I get to it, or you threw it away.
Right.
The thing that affects your mortgage payment are taxes and insurance. Right. And those are two things that we pay no attention to when we own a home. And so that's why we have Chris here today. You're listening here to the Real Estate Corner. We're on KWWJ 1360 AM. You can also catch us on 96.9 FM, and now you can see us 1510 Ionic TV, and you can catch us every Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, and we're on Sunday evening at 8 o'clock, and that station is going to be 1510. So you're in our inaugural show that we're doing something a little bit different, and we're spreading the gospel of real estate right now here in the Gospel is Tax Protesting with Steve Compton. Steve, give us your phone number again.
281 591-7856.
And Stephen, I just called you your son.
That's
name.
my son. He's talking about my son.
Boy, I'm really having some senior moments because I'm selling his son a home right now. So I got Stephen on my mind because on that also. But we got Chris Compton here in the studio with us. And Chris, we're so thankful that you're here in the studio with us. The numbers again, 281-837-2222. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come back in the real estate corner. We'll be back in just a minute. My producer of this show is Jermaine Freeman. He's helping us produce the show. You're listening to KWWJ 1360 AM and 96.9 FM. We're here every Tuesday from 6:15 to 7:15. This is the longest running radio show on real estate. We've been on the air working on our 28th year this year. Welcome to the Real Estate Corner. We'll be right back with you. Thinking about buying or selling, real estate can be a very complicated process. Finding one, how much can you afford? Get survey, put a home on the market, review the net sheets, taxes, advice on financing, homestead exemptions, advice on insurance, what kind of mortgage, inspections, considering offers, negotiations, submitting an offer, how good are the schools, down payment assistance, title insurance, home warranties, closing costs, final walkthrough. These are the pieces of the puzzle of home ownership. I'm the person who helps put it together and the glue that keeps it together. Give me a call, Shad Bogany. Chris Compton, and we're doing protesting, talking about protesting taxes. And I want to tell you how much faith I have in Chris. He's protested my taxes. He's protested my mom's taxes. He's protested several of my clients' taxes. He does a good job. Now, Chris, for those who are doing commercial, do you protest for commercial buildings?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so Chris can handle your commercial business also, and those are the ones that there's no exemptions there. You can go up as high as you can get away with.
Right, there's no exemption for commercials. They can go up to, the sky's the limit on commercial property.
Now, Chris, walk us through a protest. Okay. So you go down, and I want the consumer, I want these property owners to understand what's going on when you protest for taxes. How does that work?
Okay, first you have to file a protest. And once you file a protest, you wait to get a hearing date. They send you a date and a time. You go in, the time may be 8 o'clock, but you also in line with 500 more people who have protested and are in at 8 o'clock. You have 15 minutes to do your hearing, to present all your evidence, and then they make a decision. The one you're talking, informal appraiser, you do an informal hearing. You have 15 minutes to convince him that your value should be lower. If not, he tells you you have to go before the appraisal review board, which is a 3-panel chair, and you talk it over with them to try to come up with your value.
Okay, and so when you do that, how long does this process take, Chris?
That process could take, well, for taxpayers, they try to get them in and out for a day, but you could go down there on a busy day and you could sit for 2 or 3 hours before you get to do your hearing. Now, me, I'm over there pretty much every day, so I'm waiting anyway. But for most of the agents, they let us have the informals first, and they reschedule us another day for our formal hearings.
All right. Now, we're here, and Chris, is the process the same in every county? We're surrounded by Montgomery,
yes,
Chambers County,
yes,
Fort Bend, Harris County, yes. Montgomery, is it the same?
Yes, but because Harris County is so big, they have to reschedule a lot of hearings. The smaller counties, you can go in and pretty much get it done that day.
You're listening to the Real Estate Corner. I'm your host, Shad Bogany. I'm here every Tuesday from 6:15 to 7:15, and now you can catch us on Iconic TV every Saturday morning at 9 o'clock and Sunday evenings at 8 p.m. We're here. We're doing a live show with you. Give us a call, 281-837-2222. And I want to thank you for letting us come into your home. You've been following us on the radio for over 27 years, and now we're in your home. The numbers here, if you want to talk to Chris, is 281-837-2222. So, Chris, explain some homes that are taxed at a higher rate And I guess the main question, is the system fair? So let's talk about residential.
Okay.
And we're not going to call anybody's name,
Right.
but we're going to talk about what you've noticed in the taxing system here.
Okay. Is it fair? No, it is not fair. A lot of the affluent areas in Houston do not get increases in values like they do in the other areas, like in 3rd Ward, 5th Ward, North Houston, Northeast Houston, always valued a lot higher than River Oaks, Bel Air, West U areas. So is it fair? No, it is not.
So I know as a realtor, we always are saying property taxes are too high. People who move here from other states, they says, wow, your property taxes are high. I think the problem is not that the property taxes are high. I think it's the fairness of the property taxes.
Right.
Everybody's not paying their fair share. I know in the past, Chris, you've shown me where people that lived in high-end areas, homes didn't go up in value at all. They're not even homesteaded, and they don't go up in value. Well, normally if you don't have a homestead on your home, we'll talk a little bit about that later. Right. When you don't have a homestead on your home, they can bring it up as high. And then when you get into some of the other areas, it's just the same way. Right. So even if you go, and I'll use River Oaks for example, their taxes don't go up as high as the people in Bel Air. Let's kind of get into it. Right. People in Westbury, taxes don't go up as high, goes up higher than the people that live over in Inwood.
You're right.
So the issue is about fairness. And all of this information is public information.
It is.
Yeah, all you do is go to HCAD and put in somebody's address and you can see what your neighbors are paying, what they're paying across the other side of the city. Why is that, Chris? I mean, really, why is the tax burden put on the middle class?
Well, because they know most of the time people perish by lack of knowledge, and we don't know. A lot of us don't know we can protest our values. The higher end clients, they know if their value increased $1, they will protest it.
Okay.
But when over in the areas where the lower income, the values just go up each year, and all they know is we just got to pay these high taxes at the end of the year. They don't know that they can protest them.
Well, you know, normally when we've done this show and we've talked to you, it's a little different because we're on TV and people are looking at us, and we've got this information. So tonight, we decided to do something a little bit different. Let's talk about some of the commercial businesses that you looked at, because it's not just on residential, it's on commercial too.
Yes.
So why don't you tell us some examples of what you noticed?
Okay.
And Chris has his examples here, and we're gonna let the people's name and businesses stay, but we're gonna talk about the areas that they're in.
Right. I brought one up. It's on OST.
OST is where Dixie Hardware is.
That's correct, and it is right down the street from Dixie Hardware.
Okay.
Last year in 2017, their value was $258,000. For 2018, it's $381,000.
Wow, $130,000 more.
And it's a 1955 building, 2,300 square. It's a little barbershop.
And they gone up that high.
Yes.
Okay, so that's quite a bit of money.
33% increase.
33% increase. Okay, so let's skip on the other side of town.
Okay. All right. I looked over, close to over here by the office, Shad.
Okay.
And right here on Bel Air Boulevard, I found an office building. 3,500 square feet. Last year, their value was $869,000. 2018, their value is $871,000.
Wait a minute. Say that again, Chris. I mean, I don't think the listening audience or the TV audience understand what you just said.
In 2017, their value was $869,000 on Bel Air Boulevard. For 2018, their value is $871,000.
Give us some more examples.
A $1,300 increase. Okay, so what I did was I went over and found a similar office building. It's on Lowndes Avenue.
Okay.
They're
revitalizing Lowndes Avenue.
Yes.
They're trying to get it up and make a difference there.
I found an office building on Lowndes Avenue. In 2017, their value was $606,000. For 2018, it's $717,000. Same size as the one on Bel Air.
And they're both in Harris County, right?
Yes, 16% increase on the one on Lowndes Avenue. It's not even a 1% increase on the one on Bel Air.
Okay, actually, one in Bel Air went down.
It went up from $869 to $871.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
Wow. Wow. And this is what we bring you here on the Real Estate Corner. All I'm trying to say is that it's about fairness. And we don't need to raise anybody's taxes up. People don't need to pay more. Everybody just need to pay their fair share and spread it. Currently, right now, it's hell to be poor.
That's right.
It's hell to be middle class.
Right.
I want some welfare for the middle class. What do you want, Chris?
That's the same. I want to share this last one with you, Jared.
Okay.
I have a 32-unit apartment complex on Larcopper in Northeast Houston. In 2017, the value was $506,000. For 2018, it's $993,000.
Wow.
A 49% increase. I have a 25-unit apartment complex on Heights Boulevard. Last year, the value was $2.5 million, which you know they've been updating.
Right.
And in 2018, it's still $2.5 million.
See, it hasn't
25
changed.
units.
It has not
25
changed.
units. That's right.
And so this is my whole point. It's about fairness, guys. And all this information is available. And that's one of the things, Chris, that this could be happening in your own neighborhood.
That's correct.
Your neighbor across the street with the same floor plan that you're paying could be paying less money in taxes than you are paying with the same floor plan.
Right.
And I don't understand, how do they go about valuating properties?
Well, it's supposed to be, if you're in a residential neighborhood, it's supposed to be based on the sales and what they call uniform and equal, where everybody's supposed to be valued the same. But if I'm going in protesting my taxes every year and you're not, my value is going to be a lot less than yours, and especially if I have a homestead and you don't.
Wow.
So it will not be fair.
You know, this show is brought to you every week by American Title. My favorite title company, 5802 Valverde, 5802 Valverde. That's American Title. The escrow officer and her team is Charlene Clancy. She does an excellent job. You know, with title companies, your insurance, your fees are all the same. It's about service. So if you're looking for a title company to work with, you guys need to go by and visit American Title, 5802 Valverde, and let Charlene Clancy and her team, Eric and Ron, work with you. They're a great title company. Service is most important. That's why I use them. They're an awesome title company, and we couldn't do this show without their help. And go out and visit them. The number over there is 713-784-0004. American Title, Charlene Clancy, one of our sponsors, and I'd be remiss if I didn't get their name out and their phone number out, and I'd be getting a call, hey, I saw the show on Iconic, and you didn't mention me on the air. So we're doing this now, Charlene. She does a great job. The numbers here again are 281-837-2222. Chris, I'd like for you to give your phone number out, and if you can just share with us how you really get paid, because I know you're not doing this for the goodness of your heart.
Okay, my number is 281-591-7856. And what I do, I charge a percentage of what I save you in value, and if I don't get your value reduced, you don't owe me anything. I file the protest, I go down, I come out, take pictures, I do whatever I need to do to get your value lowered. But again, if I don't get it lowered, you don't owe me anything.
And you do commercial businesses.
Yes.
If you own rental property, they should be calling you.
That's correct.
Because you don't have a cap on rental property.
That's correct.
On residential property that's been homesteaded, what's the cap on it?
There is no cap.
On residential property that's homestead.
Right.
So they can go up as high as they can on residential.
Well, if you're renting it, there's not a cap on it. You can't homestead it if you're renting it.
Okay.
Yeah, if it's your permanent residence, you can get a homestead, and it's capped at 10%.
At 10%.
Yes.
So that's why it's so important that people should be filing their homestead exemption.
Right.
And it is amazing to me, Chris, of the people who don't file homestead exemption. I can't figure it out why they don't do it. You know, at every closing, they give you a closing statement. They give you a homestead exemption. Of course, you're happy. You put it in the folder. You put it up and don't think anything about it. But if you want to control your monthly payment, the way you control your monthly payment is watching your taxes and insurance. Watching your taxes and insurance. I'll give myself an example. My insurance just went up almost almost $150 a month. And I looked at it and I'm like, oh, well, you're getting outside of my budget, home. And so I went back and started doing some research on my insurance, and I dropped my insurance almost $2,200 a year. Just noticing it. And I probably wouldn't have done anything if I hadn't seen my payment go up. The numbers here again are 281-837-2222. We're going to take a brief break. We're going to come back with the Real Estate Corner. My studio guest with me is Chris Compton, and we're also filming our first tape TV show. And if you missed the show on radio, you're driving home, you can catch us Saturday morning on Iconic TV, station 1510, Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Let us come into your home, talk with you about what we're doing. We're going to bring you the latest information about real estate. We're going to talk to you about it, and I'm going to bring the real deal. We're not going to give you a bunch of fluff here. We're going to tell you how it is. I bring in real guests, and we bring you real information. I'm your host, Shad Bogany. I'm here with Better Homes and Gardens, Gary Green. We're in the Bel Air studios producing this show tonight. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come right back with the Real Estate Corner. Thinking about buying or selling, real estate can be a very complicated process. Finding one, how much can you afford? Get survey, put a home on the market, review the net sheets, taxes, advice on financing, homestead exemptions, advice on insurance, what kind of mortgage, inspections, considering offers, negotiations, submitting an offer, how good are the schools, down payment assistance, title insurance, home warranties, closing costs, final walkthrough. These are the pieces of the puzzle of home ownership. I'm the person who helps put it together and the glue that keeps it together. Give me a call, Shad Bogany. Welcome back into your homes and your drive time. If you're watching us on TV, we're with Iconic TV. If you're driving home and you're stuck in traffic, you're listening to the Real Estate Corner, which we're here every Tuesday from 6:15 to 7:15 on radio. And then we're going to come in your homes Saturday morning and Sunday evening at 8 o'clock, Saturday mornings at 9 o'clock. I want to thank you for our initial show with Iconic TV, and we're just so glad to be able to do this show and to continue to spread the gospel of real estate here on KWWJ 1360. My studio guest here tonight has been Chris Compton, and we've been spreading the gospel, preaching about taxes, because that's so important to home ownership. Chris, let's talk a little bit about, and because we're on a gospel Christian show,
Okay.
are churches taxed?
No, but they have to file their exemption. I have one that's right now, and it's on West Montgomery, Little York.
Okay.
They have not filed their exemption, and they are behind 5 or 6 years on some tax they haven't paid, and all they have to do is file the exemption.
So they need to file their exemption. So
Yes.
they're tax exempt.
They should be.
All right. What about all their other business? Let's take a church like, and I'm using them because they've been very proactive and I applaud what they do, is Windsor Village.
Yes.
They've got a lot of commercial business they're
Right.
doing. They've got their church. They've got all these commercial things. They've developed a whole community,
Right.
which I wish more would do this. Are they taxed on their commercial business or everything's exempt?
Everything exempt.
Everything's exempt.
Everything is exempt.
Wow. Wow, that's
Right.
a beautiful thing. That's a
right.
beautiful thing for the pastors out
Right.
there. And it really is. The numbers are again 281-837-2222. If you got any questions for my guest, Chris, here in the studio with us, give us a call. You can get this information. We're here to provide this with you. So we're going to spend this next part of the show talking about exemptions.
Okay.
What exemptions are available to people who purchase homes?
Okay. You have the residential homestead exemption that is for everyone who owns a home. It is your permanent residence. All it is a form that you fill out. You get a copy of your driver's license attached to it showing this your address is correct, and you just turn it in. Doesn't cost you any money. It's going to save you some money if you file it, but it costs nothing to file. You turn it in, you get the exemption, and that caps your value from going up each year. It's a 10% cap on the value. They can only go up 10% on you if you have a homestead exemption.
So it's a 10% cap.
Yes.
And you can't own another home in the area. You have to pick, it's only one exemption.
You can only get one on your permanent residence. You can own other properties, but you only get in the homestead on your permanent residence.
Okay.
That's why they want a copy of your driver's license.
So they want a copy to see where you're
Yes.
staying at.
Right.
Okay. Numbers are again 281-837-2222. And so if you do not have a homestead exemption,
Yes.
what happens?
A gentleman called me when I was on the show last time, and we talked, and he said he needed a homestead exemption, Shad, and he said he was 71. He didn't have either exemption on his property.
And he was
So
71.
He was 71 years old, so he paid 6 years more of taxes. When at 65, you get an over 65 exemption that freezes your taxes. But he was 71, and he didn't know. So he'd been paying extra money. Now they only let you go back 1 year to get that money back. And they used to let you go back 5 years. But we starting to catch on now, so they're saying we can't give that much money back anymore.
Okay, so my next question to you as we move forward here. So as we look at the taxes, our President Trump,
Yes,
passed a tax bill.
yes,
Now they've capped what you can write off
Right.
up to $10,000.
right,
Okay, so they have now, and then they've given you $12,000 for single person exemption,
Right.
$24,000 for a couple exemption. So now they've pretty much put home ownership on the same level with renters.
Right.
So there's really no incentive from a tax purpose wise to purchase, and this is another reason why you should be making sure that your taxes
That's correct.
are lower, because if you're over $10,000 in taxes,
Right.
that overage you will not be able to write off anymore.
that's correct.
Wow. So what other exemptions are available to you? So we talked about the homestead exemption,
Yes.
and give us an idea how much in percentage. I know you can't give me exact, but just give me an idea.
Homestead exemption usually in city of Houston, it takes 20% off of your value.
About 20%
About 20%.
off your value.
Yes.
And is it the same in each county?
No, it's not.
So okay, let me repeat that again. I misunderstood you, because it's different in each county.
Yes,
All right, so you need to go out to your county website
that's correct.
and find out what those taxes, what the homestead exemption is.
Right.
All right, any county here in this general area that doesn't give you a homestead exemption?
Most of them are, but I know Sci-Fair ISD was talking about eliminating homestead exemptions a year or two ago because they're saying they're in need of more money. They're still building schools and all these big stadiums they got, so they're just trying to get you for the whole 100% of the value now.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
So instead of you getting taxed at 80%, they want to remove it and say, we want all 100% of it.
Wow. Wow.
At that brand new big football stadium and arena that they have over there, that they are building, and all the new subdivision and new schools, and they want to get all of the money. But that's where the state of Texas gets all their money for school
Okay.
system.
So I can't believe it. Can you believe it? This is what's going on out here. You know, so that's why I get back to fairness.
Right.
And that people that are in the middle class is carrying the tax burden,
Right.
and the people that are well off,
Right.
or who've made it, and God bless you. I want to make it too, and I want to get to that point, and I'd like to be able to at least sit on the other side and ask, Shan, why are you talking about that? I'd like that opportunity to do that, but at this point I don't, and it's about fairness.
Right.
So,
Well, and you know, Sci-Fair School District is the second biggest school district is in the city, next to HISD. A lot of people have moved out to Sci-Fair. They are
Right.
still building, and 290 is steady stretching out further and further. And the more people come, the bigger their tax base grows.
and this is why this tax thing is important. Because if you live in Sci-Fair, you got a mud tax.
That's correct.
So you got a high mud tax
Yes.
on top of a high school tax.
That's correct.
So what that does is that hurts the affordability
Right.
that we have here. That hurts the affordability.
And the mud tax doesn't give you the exemption.
And mud taxes don't give you exemption in any county.
No.
So whatever the mud tax are,
Yes.
you're paying. So if I live in Brazoria,
You're in the full amount.
you're paying the full amount of mud taxes.
That's correct.
For those who are new to the show and you're listening, you're driving home, what in the devil's mud taxes? Mud taxes are municipality taxes that has to do with water. So when the builders go out to subdivisions and build a subdivision, it's cheaper for them to create their own water company and then sell bonds to pay it back versus hooking on to the city of Houston water. So they go start their own water company. That's what a mud tax is. So if you live in the city limits of Houston, most of the time you do not have a mud tax, but there is some areas that they have a mud tax because to afford affordability and build affordable homes, they had to have a mud tax because they could not afford to charge the price for the homes if they had to hook on city water.
Right.
That is my definition of what a mud tax is on that end.
And if you have a $300,000 home in one of the outlying districts, you're going to pay about $9,000 in taxes. The same $300,000 home in the city of Houston, your taxes are about $6,000 because
Wow.
the tax rate's so low and you don't have a water district to pay.
Right. And, I live out in Missouri City area, and the mud tax out there, Sugarland taxes are cheaper
Right.
because they combined all the muds under a Sugarland City of Water. The Missouri City area decided, no, we don't want to do that because Quail Valley, which is one of the dominant subdivisions, were just about paid off their mud taxes. So why we want to have another tax, and we're going to pay our mud tax? It's not our fault we moved out here in the 70s, and now we're going to pay it off. So we've got a difference there of it, and that's the difference of homes in Sugarland selling for more
Right.
and the ones in Missouri City
Right.
selling for less
Right.
because the taxes are high.
Right.
I would rather get more for my money than paying it in taxes. And then you go down to Stafford, who doesn't have
They
a
don't
city
have a-
tax,
right, they don't
but
have
the
a-
homes are very expensive
Yes.
in Stafford. And actually, Stafford has got the lowest tax rate in the area.
That's right.
Okay. Numbers again, 281-837-2222. I got sidetracked on these taxes and mud taxes and stuff, but talk a little bit about our, and let me check, we're almost to our station ID break, but tell us a little bit about the over 65 exemption. How does that work?
Okay, when you turn 65, all you have to do, again, fill out the form, turn it in with a copy of your driver's license. They want to see your birth date. Once you turn it in, you get the exemption, and all depends. If you're in the city of Houston, if you're under $100,000, it will wipe out that value for you. Now, you're always going to pay some school, but if you was paying $200 in school taxes last year, when you turn 65, now you're going to probably pay about 30. The over 65 really wipes. The city of Houston gives up to $100,000 for that.
Wow.
Yes.
So even if the over 65 exemption, I still have I still pay my school taxes,
Yes.
though. Do they go down a little bit?
Yes, they go way down. I did my sister's, and hers went down to like $13.
Okay.
Yes.
So that gentleman who was 71,
Yes.
he had been missing out for the last 6 years.
And his value on his home was only like $80,000.
Okay.
So he probably wouldn't have been paying no more than $5 a year.
All right. For some of our new listeners and new TV viewers here on Iconic TV, explain the difference between appraisal value and market value.
Okay, when you get your notice, they have market value on it, and you'll see one value, as we have on some, and appraised. Market value, they're saying, is this is what your home is worth on the open market. The appraised value is what you pay taxes on. That's where the 10% cap comes. Now, for this year, what I've been seeing, a lot of the market values have stayed the same, but they've been raising the appraised value. Now, when we go in to protest values, we can only protest market value. We can't protest appraised increasing because we're doing it off of market. But market value is what they say it's worth on the open market. Appraised is what you pay taxes on.
Well, and that comes into the place of what we call as realtors the hidden tax.
Right.
So what they do is leave the tax rate the same,
Right.
but then raise your valuation on your appraised value,
Right.
and that's how they're making up the money.
And
So when they tell you we hadn't
didn't
had a
raise
tax
that's right.
rate,
We didn't raise
we didn't
taxes.
raise taxes at all, but that's the hidden tax
correct.
that's out there.
Yeah, we left the rate. We did not raise taxes. Yes, you did.
And that's another reason, listeners and TV viewers, you need to pay attention to your local elections.
Right.
And you need to be voting. That's more important, what's happening locally, than he is at the White House.
Right.
And so you've got to pay attention to your local. It's about those local taxes because those are the people who actually affect us.
That's correct.
You know, and judges and city councilmen and county commissioners and all that good stuff. Right. We pay absolutely no attention really to those people. Right. And if you look at the city of Houston, what the mayor won in votes, as the number of people voted and how he won, hardly nobody really voted.
Right, you're correct.
And so you got to pay attention to what's going on in the local elections. The numbers again, 281-837-2222. My name is Shad Bogany. I'm here every Tuesday from 6:15 to 7:15. Now on Iconic TV, I'm going to be in your home every Saturday morning from 9 a.m. on Sunday evenings at 8 o'clock. We're going to repeat this show, and we're going to be here giving you the latest information on real estate. We're going to be covering mortgages. We're going to be covering how to get your house ready for sale. We're going to be covering things like taxes, insurance, everything about the industry we're going to cover. I work with Better Homes and Gardens, the #1 company in the city, #1 company, and we're one of their top 10 teams. So if you're looking to buy or sell, you should not hesitate making a decision without calling us. Don't hesitate and call us. If you hadn't gotten us, you need to call us again and let us show you why we were one of the top 10 teams in Better Homes and Gardens, Gary Green, the #1 company in this city. The numbers here in my office is 713-667-1000. That's 713-667-1000. What I want you to do is tell a friend about Iconic TV and 1510 and also tell them about the Real Estate Corner, the longest running show on real estate in the city. Thinking about buying or selling, real estate can be a very complicated process. Finding one, how much can you afford? Get survey, put a home on the market, review the net sheets, taxes, advice on financing, homestead exemptions, advice on insurance, what kind of mortgage, inspections, considering offers, negotiations, submitting an offer, how good are the schools, down payment assistance, title insurance, home warranties, closing costs, final walkthrough. These are the pieces of the puzzle of home ownership. I'm the person who helps put it together and the glue that keeps it together. Give me a call, Shad Bogany. Welcome back to the Real Estate Corner. I'm your host, Shad Bogany. And if you, off the break, Chris made a comment about HISD being cut short. Make that comment again, because I've got a thought.
Okay. HISD is $200 million short on their budget this year, basically because of Hurricane Harvey and all the damage that was done to the homes. So that's tax dollars. Now you're seeing they're getting ready to lay off a bunch of the teachers. A lot of the schools they're talking about closing up, but that $200 million shortfall is because of tax dollars. Now, they got to get it from somewhere. Commercial is getting hit real hard, and a lot of the low-end areas in our area, values are increasing, but again, the higher end is not.
So the people in the middle are the one carrying the load.
That's correct.
All right. And keep in mind that HISD has that plan where they got to ship money out to other districts, and the Robin Hood plan. Yes. So they're being caught in several different ways there. But once again, if we just would collect fairness with everybody,
that's correct,
then we'd be okay.
That's correct.
Everybody would pay their fair share.
You're right.
And I would say that the people that are in the higher end homes, yes, that give money to politicians, I would assume that they would get the taxes down and come up with other ways.
Right.
Those who like gambling, you might get gambling if the people on the higher end were paying their fair share in taxes, because they don't want to pay, we don't want to pay, but currently right now, nobody's fighting the middle class's budget. Nobody's fighting the middle class. Right. The new tax bill shows you how bad it is. Mm-hmm. The people at the top got the biggest cut.
That's right.
And how many of you listening to me tonight got a raise? How many of you got that one-time bonus, divide that by 12 months, and that was your raise?
That's right.
But how many of you, the corporations buying the stock back,
Right.
they're turning around, Chris, not only buying stock, but they're laying off people,
Yes.
and they're making more money because businesses are more efficient,
That's correct.
and they can do more with less.
Yes.
So this is amazing. It is amazing. Guys, if you're looking for a hardware store, you need to call Dixie Hardware. Dixie Hardware is located right there at OST in Cullen. It is a black-owned hardware store. And I say that because we need to start spending a little money with people out there in the marketplace, and Dixie has everything. When you walk in the Dixie Hardware store, the first thing they tell you, welcome to Dixie Hardware, how can I help you? You know, you go to some of those box stores, and they point you, oh, the plumbing's over there. Call me if you need me. In Dixie Hardware, they walk you over and show you, how can I help you in this process? Go by and visit Dixie Hardware. They're right there at the corner of Cullen and OST near the University of Houston. It's a great hardware store. They've got plumbing, electrical, garden supplies, painting. They cut keys. They make screens. They do it all. And just an excellent place to go shop with. And I say that they're black-owned because they're the only black-owned hardware store I know in the state of Texas. Matter of fact, I don't know any black-owned hardware stores in the country other than Dixie Hardware. So go by and visit Dixie. It's the Dixon family. It's a family-owned business, and they'd love for you to come by and visit. The numbers here again are 281-837-2222. So, Chris, we've talked about the over 65 exemption.
Yeah.
We've talked about the homestead exemption.
Yes.
What other exemption? What about the other exemptions that are available?
Okay, they have a veteran's disability.
Okay.
If you are a veteran and you have a disability, there's an exemption that you can file for. Now, you can only get 2 exemptions. You can get a homestead and an over 65, or you can get a homestead and a disability.
Okay.
You can only get 2. They have a surviving spouse exemption for over 65. So if you're over 65 and you pass away and your wife is still in the home, she qualifies for that exemption.
All right. Now, Chris, I want you to talk a little bit about the downfall of the over 65 exemption for those who are inheriting property from your grandparents and your mom and dad, and you're moving into the house. Why don't you tell us about the pitfalls that they're running into with that particular situation?
Okay, well, just like the example I gave about the gentleman who didn't file his when he should have been paying about $5 a year. The over 65 freezes that amount right there. Now, say he goes 10 years only paying $5 a year, and he passed away and his sons or grandchildren want the home now. The exemption comes off. The exemption comes off.
When does the exemption come off?
Well, if you go down there and tell them, well, he passed 2 years ago, and now I want this property, you could be liable for 2 years, 3 years of back taxes. And that is not a pretty sight. And you will be taxed for the full amount.
Okay. We've got a caller on line 1. Let's go ahead and take this call. I think her name is Dolores. Let's see if we've got Dolores. Hi, Dolores. But you had a question about your 78-year-old sister being denied a homestead exemption. Okay. So, Chris, what's going on there?
Okay, is the home in her name? Okay, all she needs is an ID to put with the exemption.
Could she possibly have the exemption already, Chris? 2,000, 3,000 in green tea.
Right, that's pretty low.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, caller, why don't you do this, Dolores? Chris is going to give out his phone number, and I know we don't have all the time, but we like to help you, your
Right.
sister solve this issue and find out what's going on in this situation. So, Chris, would you give your number out to Dolores?
281-591-7856. Give me a call.
Thank you, and Chris will give you a call. The numbers here again, guys, are 281-837-2222. Something's going on there,
Right.
Because if her tax rate is she paying $2,000 or $3,000, and I know the Green Tea subdivision,
I know where it is.
that is not a least expensive subdivision.
Right.
So something's up that they're trying to deny her.
Right.
And give Chris a call. Let's make sure that you're getting your total picture, being able to take total advantage of the laws that are available.
Right.
Chris, we talked about the handicap exemption. Yeah. Now, I found out, and you correct me if I'm wrong, if your kid is handicapped,
Yes.
you can get that exemption.
Yeah.
You don't have to be handicapped, but somebody in your household that you're taking care of
Yes.
can be handicapped, and you can get that exemption.
Yes.
And what's the savings on the handicap? If it's the same as the over 65?
It's just like the veteran disability. It's all what percent disabled they are.
Okay.
Yes.
So if they're 100% disabled,
You can get 100% disability exemption.
okay. Now the veterans, and I was there. I say I was there. I remember when we fought for the veterans and it passed,
Right.
that if you're 100% exemption, veterans can get that 100% exemption.
Right.
What about the surviving spouse?
Yes.
Okay. Before we took that call, we were talking about that issue that a lot of people who are left property don't pay their taxes.
That's correct.
So the suggestion that is that if they're going to take over that property,
Right.
they need to go down there and let them know, and then take the property, then file your homestead exemption
Yes.
before you tax yourself out of that house.
That's right. If you plan on living there, that's right. That's what you need to do. That is exactly what you need to do.
The numbers are again 281-837-2222. Guys, I want to thank all of you for who are watching us at home on Saturday morning and Sunday evening. We really appreciate you trying out. This is our first show. I guarantee you we're going to get better with this with live. I've been wanting to rub my top of my head and I haven't been able to do it because I'm on TV, but we're going to continue to do this show, and we just want to do something different. We want to bring it to you. I've been asked over the years, Chris, hey Shad, do you tape any of your shows or any of that? And we've been beginning to tape a little bit with KWWJ, but now we're doing the TV. And KWJ 1360, the gospel station, they're also on 96.9 FM, and so you can listen to us simultaneously on the radio, on FM or AM. You can also catch us on kwwj.org. And if you go and blink on the clicking radio, you can get streaming audio. You can also go to www.realestatecorner.info. That site will allow you to also click on the blinking radio tower and listen to this show. And on the radio show's website, you can search for homes that are updated every 5-10 minutes. So if you're looking to buy or sell, I'm going to recommend you to go to our website, www.shadbargaining.com. See a list of our associates, see a list of homes and where we cover. Our homes are updated every 5 minutes. Go to our website. We've got neighborhood videos, we got consumer videos, and we've just started the Real Estate Corner YouTube channel. So recordings that we've done in shows in past on other TV stations are there, so you can go there also. So we're trying to rev up our game, and we want you to listen to KWWJ 1360. Let us bring you home, and really bring you home by helping you make a home purchase or sell a home. Guys, we're under a storm right now. Rates are up, interest rates are up. Everything is going up. Prices are going up. And I also want to take the time and let all the listening audience and the TV viewers know we will be doing an affordable home summit. This summit will be June 20th at the National Buffalo Soldier Museum. We're going to be doing a summit with the stakeholders on how we can help affordability in this city. So we're going to be bringing in all the stakeholders. BBA Compass Bank is one of the sponsors. We're going to have Dr. Steve Klingberg, who's agreed to come and speak about the demographics of this city and what's happening in the housing market. We have become less affordable in this city, and I think we're going to have to change how we think. Chris, I think we're going to start looking at condos,
Right.
duplexes. We're going to have the density. We're going to have to look at that. Right. The density can't all be in the Heights area. Right. The density can't all be in River Oaks. Density can't all be in 4th Ward or 3rd Ward or 2nd Ward or 1st Ward. Right. We're going to have to raise that density out a little bit if we're going to make this city and continue to be the affordability in it. The numbers again, 281-837-2222. We've got one caller holding. Let's go ahead and take that caller. We got 2 minutes. Hi, you're welcome to the Real Estate Corner. How can we help you?
Yes, ma'am. You can protest every year. Long as you file it before the deadline. Yes, ma'am.
Well, then if you would do an equity loan, are you over 62? You're 56. Okay. So my suggestion is that if you give me a call off the air, I can recommend a lender to you, and the lender can do a home equity loan. They can tell you in the state of Texas, you can only get 75% of your home equity. And we got that safeguard in there that really helps. So if you call me off the air, I can recommend a lender to you who can take a look at you and see if you got any equity there. Call me, Shad Bogany. You can call my office at 713-667-1000. That's 713-667-1000. Jamie, and if I'm not in, leave a message and I'll call you back. Thank you. I appreciate you listening to the show, and tell somebody about the Real Estate Corner, and also let them know they can view us. Those friends that you have that missed the show tonight on radio, they can catch us Saturday morning on Iconic TV, and that is going to be at Saturday morning at 9 o'clock, this same show, and then Sunday night we're going to be on at 8 o'clock, and you'll see us live here in the studio, and we're just taping this show, our first one. Thank you, Jamie. Have a great evening. Have a blessed evening. The numbers here again are 281-837-2222. You can catch us here every Tuesday. Chris, you're always an awesome guest. I appreciate you coming in. Thank you for coming in on the Real Estate Corner. Thank you for doing this live TV. I know you wanted to scratch your head too.
You're right.
And we didn't do it, but thank you so much. I want to thank the crew from Iconic TV for helping us produce this show. And guys, we're going to get better at this. We're going to get better. It's just a matter of us continuing to do these shows, and I want to thank all of you. Check out Iconic TV. They've got a lot of shows, but catch us Saturday morning at 9 o'clock and Sunday night at 8 p.m. I'm your host, Shad Bogany, and I want to thank Jermaine Freeman for producing this show, and we'll see you next week on the Real Estate Corner.